Hi everyone. Are you planning to take the TOEFL exam and you are a bit confused about what to expect? Don't worry, you are in the right place. I am in your boy Emmanuel and I will walk you through exactly what you need to know before you take the TOEFL exam for the very first time. And if you're just starting on my channel, I advise you to subscribe to the channel and also like the videos for subsequent update I'll be posting regarding the TOEFL exams. All right, guys, welcome to Scholarship Seekers YouTube, and I bring scholarship updates, both international and local scholarship. And today I want to tell you about those secrets about TOEFL that nobody tells you, especially if you're just a first timer taking the exam. There are some things you are expected to know before you start the exam. And guess what? If you're that kind of person, this is the right place for you. I will tell you TOEFL secrets that nobody will ever tell you. And it's something you should know as a test taker. All right. So, TOEFL is an English language proficiency test that is widely accepted by universities, colleges, and institutions around the world for study, for work, for immigration purposes. In fact, in 13,000 institutions, if you have your TOEFL score, you will be accepted for study, especially if you're aiming to do what? To study abroad. I want to let you know about other facts concerning this TOEFL. TOEFL is being pronounced as TOEFL. 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 That is the correct pronunciation for TOEFL exam. All right. It's actually called TOEFL IBT test. It's a test of English as foreign language. Before you go abroad to study, you must show and prove to the institution that you are someone who is fluent, a speaker of English. You can speak English language fluently. So with that, you need to present your TOEFL scores to those institutions, right? So TOEFL is a test of English as foreign language. And also the IBT here, you can see the IBT on my screen. The IBT represents internet-based tests. This is a test you can take from your home or any approved ETS approved center around wherever the location you are. And don't worry, towards the ending part of this video, I will be showing you those ETS approved center, especially if you are a Nigerian. So right now we've gotten the correct pronunciation of tofu and the full meaning of tofu. All right. The full meaning of tofu is test. The T represent test, O represent off, E represent English, F represent foreign, and L represent language. So test of English as foreign language. Then the IBT stands for internet-based test. Why is it an internet-based test? It's an internet-based test because you have to write it on the with a computer system that's connected to the internet. So that's why it's called IBT, internet-based test. All right, let's proceed. Now, if this is your first time of taking a TOEFL exam, there are very important things you ought to know, especially the sections that are in this exam, and you have to be prepared for them. All right. Now, TOEFL exam consists of four basic sections to prove that you are a speaker of English language. You can speak English language fluently. Now, what are those four basic sections? The first one is reading. Don't worry, I'll be giving you an in-depth explanation of this. The first one is reading. There's a section that's like a comprehension passage, just like the normal comprehension passage you read in JAM, in WAEC, and you answered some questions. So the same kind of pattern will be brought. Okay, a comprehension passage will be presented like three, and you're expected to read and do what? Answer the questions that are attached to this comprehension. The second section is the listening section. This is the section whereby you listen to a lecture, you listen to a speaking, you listen to an information, a lecture from as a question. Then you are expected to take notes when when you're listening, because you will definitely be asked questions. Okay. Then we also TOEFL also consists of the speaking section. This is a session whereby you speak your ideas of a particular subject matter. They might bring up a technology or a historical information for you to speak about what you know about that particular technology or information. So this in the speaking section, you will be given the opportunity to do what? To speak. All right. So when you're speaking, the center is going to provide you a headset, like what I'm putting on right now. Yeah. The center is going to provide you a headset for speaking, and that headset is going to have what? A mic. So the headset will be used for listening section, because the lecture you're going to be listening to, it would be with your headset, right? Then when it comes to speaking section, the mic of that headset will do what? Would aid you for the speaking. So if you're planning to take TOEFL at home, if you're planning to take TOEFL exam at home, you must ensure you have something like a headset, or your system should do what? Your system should have a microphone and a camera. All right. Then there is also a writing section whereby you have to write, and you don't need to write on paper. You must be proficient with the keyboard. Before you go to take your TOEFL exam, make sure you are a computer literate. Yes. If you aren't, you can enroll in my center and we'll teach you how to use the computer and master the keyboard, because it's very essential in the writing session. You will be permitted to type in some things as part of the writing section. All right, as I proceed, let me break it down into details that you'll understand it better. Here are the sections and duration for the TOEFL exam. It's expected that this exam will last less than, at most, you should take it within 2 hours range, starting from when you started. It should be a 2 hours exam. But some people finish less than that time, some above the time. But for every sections, there used to be, please pay attention, there used to be a timer counting down for you. So you don't need to waste time on answering questions. All right. Especially when it comes to the writing aspect, whereby you need to type. You don't need to be looking at your keyboard. Oh, where is letter R here? Where is letter T? Oh, I can't find letter T. Where can I find letter T again? Where can I find letter P? Oh, where can I find letter? If you do that, the time is counting and it doesn't wait for you. So it's expected that before you go in to take the exam, you are a computer literate, you mastered the keyboard, you mastered where the letters of the keyboard are. Okay. I can also give you a shortcut to that. You should have Mavis Beacon installed in your system. Mavis Beacon will teach you where the letters of the keyboard are. All right. If you don't have Mavis Beacon, you can comment on the channel. I will share a link whereby you can download it and install in your computer. Okay. That's right. Now, these are the different sections and durations for the TOEFL exam. The first one is the reading. The reading contains 20 questions. You'll be given two passages. So, like I said earlier, I said three passages, but you'll be given two passages. So, and you're expected to answer all of these 20 questions in 35 minutes. the timer keeps counting. It doesn't wait. All right. So, but it won't count too fast for you. No, it should count like a normal time counter that will permit you to read and permit you to do what? Answer those questions. So, the second aspect I was talking about is the listening session. The listening session contains 28 questions, and you're expected to listen to three lectures. Three lectures. Now, I'll advise you before you start the listening, please ensure you have a paper, like this. All right. So make sure the center gives it to you. The center where you are assigned to take the test will give that to you. You don't need to go in with your papers. No, it is not permitted. In fact, the only thing you should go into the exam hall with is your international passports. Every other thing like your wristwatch, bangles, earrings, glasses, except it's medicated, you can just keep them off. There's a secured place whereby those things can be stored for you. All right. So the listening section, you have to listen to three lectures, just like your university lecturer comes in and he lectures you. This just the same way. So somebody will be displayed on the screen with people in the class and will teach you. All right. It's expected that at that time, with your pencil and your paper, take details. Now, for those who will be taking the exam at home, make sure you have a paper available so that you take details when you're listening because you'll be asked those questions. All right. And that those questions you might be permitted to speak about what the subject matter you've listened to or the subject matter you know. So the listening section consists of 28 questions and three lectures. It will be played to you to listen to. And that is expected to be done in 36 minutes or so. Then there's also a speaking session whereby it contains of four different tasks and you're expected to speak about a subject matter, okay, in 16 minutes. There's also a writing. This writing you're not going to write on paper. No, you're not writing on paper. You're going to type into the computer a subject matter that you will be given to do. All right. So it's expected before you go in for this exam, please kindly familiarize yourself with past questions, familiarize yourself with current recent technology and happenings globally. All right. So let's proceed without wasting much time. So I want to tell you about the TOEFL. It's recommended to register for the TOEFL IBT test at least 2 to 3 months before the test taker's earliest admission. That is, if your school, before you even go into to take this exam, you should have in mind the school you're going to. If you're using it for, if you want to use the score to gain admission, you should have in mind if you're going to for work, that's a different scenario, that's a different case. So if you're going for school, you should have in mind the school you're going to study. So and you should know when the school are admitting. So you should expect it to take it 2 to 3 months before the test taker's admission. You are the test taker, you taking the exam, you're called a test taker. Okay. The admission deadlines to ensure the scores will be reported on time. So once you do this 2 to 3 months before that, your scores will be reported on time to the school before they start the admission. So TOEFL scores are sent to the test taker's designated score recipient. Now it's expected that when you have the recipient, the school which you're going to, it's expected that you also TOEFL will send those scores, those designated scores, 4 to 16 business days after the test dates. So do well as possible to get prepared for that particular exam. So test takers have the option of sending their scores to top up to 4 institutions of their choice for free. Nobody's charging you a dime. You can send your scores to up to 4 institutions, all right, for free. So what about the validity of this TOEFL exam? TOEFL scores are valid right from when the scores are released. They are valid for 2 years from the test date. 2 years from the test date. Okay. So if you've taken the test and you are above the score For the first year you didn't use it, please ensure you use it in the second year. All right. So now, what are those requirements that will be needed for you to go into this exam hall to take your TOEFL test? You don't need calculators. You don't need all those kind of stuffs like that. No, no, no. You don't need them. It's a test of English, so you don't need all those calculative stuff. Okay. All you need to go into the exam hall. Just go into the exam hall with. If you're Nigerian, go into the exam hall with the national ID you have, like your NIN card. Make sure that that NIN card does what? Your date of birth appears and your name appears as you registered it before the exam. So a valid ID card or international passport. If you don't have a national ID card, you should have an international passport. Okay, that's used for your test registration. And make sure that the same name that appears that is going to appear on those your information. So test takers must come with their valid IDs on test day. Please do not make the mistake. A lot of students make the mistake of doing what? Going to the exam hall with a photocopied ID. Please don't go into the exam hall with a photocopied ID. You will not be permitted. All right. And the consequence of that is that the test center administration for that center would send you back, would send you back. So you will have to write to ECS to reschedule you again. And if you're the kind of person who is calculating ahead for the time to be admitted into school, you might miss out that admission. That's why it's good you take your time to watch this video unto the very end so you can get accurate information on what you need to know. So when you're going into the exam hall to take your exam, just going with your international passport, the original copy. Please, I repeat again, do not go in with a photocopy of your identity. It will be rejected. All right. And I want to call on all centers who are taking TOEFL, please do not accept any form of photocopied identity. Probably it's in a phone or digital copy or so. Please do not accept it. All right. It's easy for someone to coin that and also go to take the exam. It's very easy. All right. So do not accept it. Every test taker must go into the exam hall with what? Their original copy of their ID. All right. On the exam day, make sure you go with the exam with an original copy of your identity. If you're using a national ID, make sure you're going with a national identity card that carries your name, it carries your date of birth. All right. So don't go with writing materials. Writing materials will be provided for you at the center with a pencil and a paper, like papers will be provided for you by the center, and also a computer and a headset. Writing materials, like I said earlier, will be provided for you. So I like to go in depth more about the sessions that are available for the TOEFL exam. We have the listening section. The listening section features a variety of English accents, including North American, British, Australian, and others, to expose the test takers to different speaking styles. So don't be scared when you see it. So they also have the writing section. The writing section includes two tasks. You have integrated and independent writing. To excel, you need to understand the tasks, organize your ideas clearly, and use proper grammar. And support points with examples. Support your points with examples. Don't just give out points. Make sure you support it with what? Examples. It gives you an edge. There's also the reading section. In the reading section, candidates are required to do what? To read 2 to 3 to 4 academic passages and answer some choice questions. Okay, similar to university text level. So I'll be making this material available in the description section of this video for you to download it and read through. You can see on my screen here, this is how it looks like. Here, this is how it looks like. You see, you can see test takers taking exams. They just go their headset. So other things you need to know about this TOEFL: there is provision for those who are disabled. Okay, like giving them extra time if you have health issues, giving them extra time, giving them magnifier so they can be able to see the screen properly. There's provision for that. So ETS provide accommodation. When I mean accommodation, I don't mean housing. No. I mean accommodation here is like extra time, extra support, okay, that will be given to test takers, especially people with disabilities, people with sight problems. They have short sight or long sight, they can't see, so they need a magnifier. There's also provision for that. But when they are registering it, make sure you indicate that you are a person with disability. So the TOEFL IBT doesn't require test takers to memorize fact or information. Don't memorize facts. Don't go and read a particular question, past question or so, and say, "Oh, you want to memorize it? That's what you're going to meet." No, it doesn't happen that way. But focus your ability on how to understand context more and how to communicate in English. That's just the sole purpose of that exam, communication in English. So the speaking and writing prompts cover a wide range of topics, right from education to technology to culture and society. So you make sure you familiarize yourself with them. Be politically inclined as well. But although politics is not part of this, but it gives you an edge on experience and what to say. So test takers find themselves discussing everything from robots to famous historical figures. So make sure you're not the kind of person that does what that is avoiding learning about new technologies, learning about figures, historical figures, and stuffs. Make sure you're not that kind of person, all right? So I want to show you the approved testing centers for TOEFL. So if you're a Nigerian and you just check throughout all of this to see which testing center is closer to you. We have the ITTS Dragnet solution in Lagos. We have Workforce Soft Skills solution in Port Harcourt. We have Electronic Test Company in Lagos. We have Workforce Group in Lagos. So these are the available test centers that's approved by ETS. All right. So this is the end, and your exam looks something like this. You'll be giving your headset, you'll be giving your writing material, you build with a computer and discuss. So you're not really writing, submitting any paper or stuff. Everything you're doing is internet based. All right. So at this point, I'd like to thank you for watching this video until the very end. I'd like you to subscribe and like the videos because I'll be giving more information about this. Catch you, see you, peace.